Hi, y'all, and welcome to your Zoom basics review. I hope you've all had a chance to practice, and I hope you're getting together with your groups and your family and your friends and connecting this way because it's an awesome tool to use these days. So I'm going to show you a few things again that we've already gone over so that you can get a recap and hopefully help you kind of hone your skills a little bit. So let me share my screen. Okay. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the microphone and the video buttons. For you who are on desktops or laptops, these buttons will normally be in the lower left-hand corner of your screen the majority of the time. So you may have to move your mouse around to locate those, but look in the lower left-hand corner of your screen, and you'll see a microphone button like this one down here and a video button. This microphone is where you would mute yourself, and which would be a standard courtesy, especially if there's a lot of noise and a lot of people in the meeting room. Or if you needed to step away, you would mute, and then also you might turn off your video camera. Those are a couple of reasons you might turn off the video camera besides stepping away or having a lot of movement, like if somebody comes in to visit with you. As a group leader, you're not going to have that. Your video is always going to be on. But as a participant, like in a leaders meeting or in another meeting, you might turn your video off if there's a lot of activity, or you might turn your video camera off if the internet connection is unstable, or the bandwidth is not very, it's got too much traffic, or if like some of your women, they don't have internet at home, but they do have a data plan, but they don't have much data left. They might want to join, they might go turn off their video because that would reduce the amount of data they're going to use for that. So those would be the reasons that you might use those controls. On your iPad, these are going to be in the upper right-hand corner. So for your iPad or a tablet, probably any tablet and any of your smartphones, you're going to have to tap your screen in order to see the controls come forward. So, and then once you go back to the meeting, they'll disappear again. And then if you want to see your controls again, you've got to tap your screen. And so look in the upper left-hand corner of your iPad or other tablet to see if your controls are there. If they're not there, look around on any of the corners or edges to look for the microphone and the video. And if you're on a cell phone, a smartphone, which you would be, got to have a smartphone, you're going to tap your screen again, but these are going to be in the bottom portion of your screen. You see, it doesn't quite look the same, the icon, but that's, it has little headphones instead of a microphone, and then your video button. So that's where the controls are on those different devices. Now we've talked about the speaker view or the gallery view. When I started this video, I was a speaker in speaker view. And what that is going to do is that in speaker view, the screen that is making, the participant that makes the most noise is going to be the largest on the screen. And so if I'm the one speaking, usually I'm going to be the largest on the screen. But if I am not speaking loudly and somebody else's dog is barking, their screen might be prominent. And so it's great to be able to see it in gallery view, which is more like the Brady Bunch, where you see all the different pictures on there. But the toggle for this, the control, is going to be in the upper right-hand corner for most desktops and laptops. It's going to be just inside what would be either an icon or the words for exit full screen or go to full screen. So it's going to say gallery view or speaker view, and or it may just have, you can see right there, it's kind of tiny, there's a box of 9 dots. It may just have dots. So you want to look up here and toggle between those so you can see what that looks like. And we talked about how I prefer gallery view when I'm facilitating a group so that I can try to see as many participants as I can. So when you go between these things, it's going to be, depending on your device, is going to depend on how many boxes of faces you can see at one time on your screen. So for instance, Leah said that on her large screen at work, she can be in a big meeting and see up to maybe 60 faces. She really can't see them very well, but they're there. On my laptop, I can see 16 participants. And if there are more than that, I have to swipe with my trackpad to see the next screen. An iPad, I think, has a maximum of 9 uh, picture frames. And again, you swipe to see the other participants. So let me open the iPad so you can see those controls for your iPad. It's going to be on the left-hand side over here. So you can see on the left-hand side, after you tap that screen and have those controls come up, it's a circle with a grid in it. That grid is for the gallery view, and you can switch back and forth there. But if you're on a smartphone, you can see here, this is the speaker view, but I don't have a picture of the other. But what's going to happen is when you swipe, you will see 4 pictures at a time on a cell phone. So it will always default. There's not a switch to switch back and forth on the phone. You just swipe to see the additional participants. And so if you're leading your group using a cell phone, you're going to have to kind of constantly be swiping to see who all has come, potentially, to know who is there. It's a little more difficult, maybe a little more tricky, but don't worry about it. It's going to work great. So let me stop sharing for a second. Nope, I'm going to stay sharing, sorry. And I'm going to show you a couple of things that we talked about joining meetings. So you can join a meeting, as we've talked about, by using the link embedded in an email. Know, group leaders, as you send out invites, that if that link is not lit up with, like in blue with an underline on it, you need to go to the end of that link and press return so that it will hyperlink. If you have any questions about that, you can text me or email me. But you can also join, if that link doesn't work, you can join a meeting in the app by clicking join, and then a box like this will pop up and you will plug in the meeting ID that's in the email or at the end of that hyperlink that's not working, and then click join down here in this corner. But another way you can join is going to be using your browser. And so if I log in to my account, well, I'm already logged in, good. If I go up to the top of the bar up here, you can see it's where it says join a meeting. You can join a meeting at that location as well. I'm not going to do that because I'm using this account to record this. But those are the places where you can join in, and that's where your members can join. So let's talk for a second about scheduling. So when we trained, I showed you how to set up a meeting in the app. And I'm going to backtrack a little bit and encourage any of you watching this to go ahead and set your meeting up in the browser, because you can set up your recurrence a little easier, because there's not the options in the app to set up, I want this to be weekly, I want it to start at this time, etc. And so let me go back there. When you open and log in on the website, usually you're going to default here to the items on the left-hand side. So profile, meetings, webinars, recordings, and settings. If you go down to meetings, you can schedule a new meeting here. I was messing with this later, so you can see there's a group there. So if you click schedule a meeting, you can name this, name it other group, because I've already set one up. You can name that there, and then you can you tap on this calendar here, and I'm going to start this on the 30th again. I'm going to start this at 7:30, even though I've already got a meeting started at 7:30. It may give me an error about that. And I'm going to leave it in an hour. You only have 40 minutes, but you don't want to set this to 0 really. So I just leave it at an hour. And Zoom is telling us here that our basic account only has a 40-minute limit. And they're asking us if we want to upgrade, and you don't. We just want to use the free account and use our 40 minutes. And you can click to not show that again if you want to. I'm going to tell it I want to recur, and I'm going to tell it I want it reoccurring weekly. And so it repeats every week, 1 week, and then it's already set to Monday. So I could go here if you're in Weatherford, and I could set that to Tuesday. I'm going to leave it. Actually, I'm going to leave it on Tuesday right now. That way, it won't interfere with that other one I've got set up. And I'm just going to tell this I want to end it after 7 occurrences. And we've got 5 more meetings. I'm just going to go ahead and leave that at 7 so that I don't end up with a problem. We definitely don't want a meeting password. We don't want to hinder anybody from trying to get on. I leave the video set up with the host and participant videos on. They can fix that as they log on. They can make their selection of what they want to see. And I also leave audio as both, even though right now Zoom, because of their increased volume, they're not supporting telephone call-ins for the basic account. On a basic account, what that's going to mean is that your participants who don't have internet at home, and maybe their data plan is not going to be large enough for them to log on through their cell phone and use that data plan, you used to could dial in with under your cell phone package, and they're not supporting that. They've got too many users doing that. So you can say both, or you can say computer audio only. That's how they're going to have to call in. And we're going to uncheck for now, enable join before host, because I'm not sure how that works with the timing on that 40 minutes. So if you had 3 people that had logged on 10 minutes early, I don't know that that would start the clock counting. And since I don't know the answer to that, we might as well just turn that off. And you might just go ahead and log on about 5 minutes before your meeting starts. We'll talk more about that because Debbie may have a different idea about how that should go. And then you just want to save that. And so what comes up is your meeting here. This is the meeting ID right here. Let me see if I can highlight that. And that will be the meeting ID for this meeting for those whole 7 meetings. So, and when I use this, I usually go in here and copy this invitation. And then what I do is I either take just this top part, I end up deleting out the other middle, or I just take and copy this portion. I'm going to copy the whole thing right now just to show you the other way to do. So if it copies to your clipboard, you'll know. So if I copy this and it goes to the clipboard, I then want to go down to, I'm going to go ahead and put it in Word. I usually go to my email, and then I want to paste that in there. Well, you see it's copied all this information that it kind of looks a little confusing. So I delete out all of the non-essential information, which is that junk in the middle right there. And I delete out the bottom portion, which would have been how to dial in with just your cell phone. And I delete that off. And so you can leave this top part if you want to, but a lot of times when I'm sending this to my group, I'm really just sending them, here's the meeting link. And I go to the end and I press return so that it hyperlinks. Did you see how that happened? Let me go back for a second. Nope. Yeah, I'm going to go back. See, I went to the very end of that. I put my cursor there and I pressed enter or return, and that hyperlinks that so that they can click on it. And so once you've done that, then that makes a part of your email. You can put that in a text message or on your WhatsApp group. That's what I do. And so that information is there. If you need to change any of this, you can go down here and edit this meeting. And you could choose just one meeting or all. You're almost always going to do all. And then you could make any changes in here that you needed to. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to cancel it. And I'm going to go back to profile. And that is basically, let me stop the share for a second. That's basically everything that we've covered in as far as the controls for your mute, your video, your speaker or back gallery view, how to join a meeting, and how to schedule a meeting. So I hope that's helpful, and give me a holler if you need any assistance or one of the other tech support team members. Thanks, and have a great day.